no dishonor in running away. Retreat is a crucial tactic. In chariot, riders have only one horse. In battle, the steppe warriors brought a string of horses to pursue hit-and-run tactics all day long. Guerrilla warfare had entered the battlefield forever. 1,500 years later, Chinese leader Mao Zedong would incorporate the tactics of the steppe fighters in his own handbook on guerrilla warfare.
Maintain the offensive. Give the enemy no rest. Harass him continuously until he is exhausted, is dispersed, and can be annihilated. When he advances, withdraw. When he attacks, disperse.
The North Vietnamese army would apply hit-and-run tactics with deadly result against the technically superior American army, much as the technically superior Romans were defeated by Attila's horsemen. The Romans achieved just one great victory over the Hun. At Chalon in northern France, the Romans stemmed the barbarian advance and saved Christianity in Europe. The victory proved the decisive value of the horse in battle. The Romans prevailed only by hiring mounted hit-and-run fighters of their own. 23 years after Attila's death, the Roman Empire in the West was extinct. The foot soldier who had dominated warfare since the days of Alexander the Great was eclipsed. For 1,000 years, the horse warrior would rule the battlefield. Soon the horse would bring another invader from the east, one driven by a revolutionary new motivation for war. In 632 AD, a soldier of an unknown tribe from the deserts of Arabia died. His name was Muhammad. Muhammad was the founder of a new faith, Islam. 100 years after Muhammad's death, the Arab followers of Islam faced a Christian army at Poitiers in France. Muhammad had taught his followers to fight all other men till they said, "There is no God but Allah." This was Islamic jihad, holy war. By the early 8th century, the Arabs had conquered an area as large as the empire of Alexander the Great. For over 100 years, cities, peoples, empires fell to their armies. Though highly mobile, the Arabs were not a horse people. Their origins lay deep in the deserts of Arabia, home of a different beast. The desert could not support many horses, but those the Arabs had were spirited, elegant beasts. The Arabs traveled to the battlefield by camel. The horses followed, riderless, to stay fresh. This way, the Arabs could appear where they weren't expected and mount their favorite type of attack, the ghazwa, or raid. Surprise gave Islamic armies the advantage, but they won their astonishing victories without new tactics or weaponry. The secret of their success lay elsewhere, in their morale. Muhammad, the founder of Islam, was also a soldier. Muhammad the Prophet taught that all Muslims must help each other. But Muhammad the soldier went further. He didn't just practice war, he preached it. O you who believe, fight the unbelievers who are near to you. Islam was not intolerant. Those who submitted could live in safety, whether they converted or not. Those who opposed Islam would be fought in the name of God.
The distinctive thing about Islam is that it communicated an idea for fighting to its followers. There hadn't previously been a religion which called on its followers to fight disbelievers. And whether Muhammad anticipated the outcome or not, that call to fight disbelief or resistance to belief was extraordinarily powerful.
In 711, Muhammad's teaching brought Muslims to the shores of Christian Europe. This is an Arab palace, the Alhambra. Its fountains and ornate geometric designs show Arab mastery of the arts and sciences, a permanent monument to a once obscure desert people from Arabia. But the Alhambra is in Spain. Fired by faith, the Arabs crossed the Mediterranean from North Africa. The Christian armies they met in Spain outnumbered them by almost 5 to 1, but lacked Islam's sense of mission. In under a year, all of modern Spain and Portugal was under Arab control, subdued by fewer than 19,000 soldiers. It was one of the greatest conquests in history. Soon their dynamic faith and a desire for plunder drove them onward. In 732, they crossed the Pyrenees into modern France. Near Poitiers on October 10th, an Arab army faced a Christian force under Charles Martel, leader of the Franks, the tribe who gave their name to France. Martel dismounted his entire army and formed them into a solid block of men with lances, like the Greek phalanx of old. As the Moors rode into the attack, Martel's ranks stood their ground.
The men of the north stood as motionless as a wall. They were like a belt of ice frozen together as they slew the Arabs with the sword.
The Battle of Poitiers was decisive because it set a boundary to Arab power in the west. A boundary, but not an end. The Arabs turned back to consolidate their power in Spain. Here, Islamic culture won a victory to make up for the military defeat at Poitiers. In the rugged hills of the Sierra Nevada, the Arabs built sophisticated irrigation systems. They grew almonds and lemons. They reintroduced Greek philosophy and mathematics and recorded it on paper, a new innovation. The paper making the Arabs brought to Spain was learned from a foe captured in a battle with the Chinese, more than 4,000 miles away. In the west, Spain was the high watermark of Islamic culture. To the east, Arab power extended for thousands of miles. All these achievements in war and civilization flowed from a simple instruction in the Koran: fight the unbelievers who are near to you. Almost 4 centuries would pass before Europeans would unite under Christianity to mount a holy war of their own, the Crusades. But long before that, the Christians of Europe would be attacked again, this time by raiders from the north, raiders whose mobility was matched only by their pagan joy in killing. In the 9th century, an ominous new war machine emerged from the frozen north.